Let's talk quarterback ranks for week 4 of the NFL season. I've been doing these in tiers. I think I'm just going to do my ranks this week, just my top 20 in a row. We'll give a little blurb on each guy. Let's kick it off with quarterback number 1. For me this week, it's Josh Allen playing against the Saints at home. There's not really that much to say here. It's one of the best quarterbacks in the league playing against a pretty bad team. You're not really getting away from Josh Allen in any matchup. There's not really anything to say past this one. It's the Saints. We're firing up Josh Allen. Quarterback 2, Lamar Jackson. He's playing the Chiefs. Let's see where they're at. I think it's at home. No, it's at Kansas City. You know, the Ravens were the number 1 offense in yards per game last year. We haven't really seen that slowing down this year. The Chiefs can game plan to take guys out of this game, but with Lamar, we've got Lamar running, we've got Derrick Henry, we've got Mark Andrews, we've got Zay Flowers, and then we have other guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Walker. It's really hard to hold this team down. You know, you can shut down the run game with Derrick Henry, you can try to shut down Lamar's running, but then he'll just throw it on you. Like Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers will catch the ball, or they'll chuck it deep. They've got Hopkins looking a little bit fresher than he was last year. There's just so many options. Like even a great defense like the Browns was able to hold them to 10 points in the first half. And then Lamar just bombed it all over them in the second half. I don't know any defense that's really going to hold Lamar back. And I'm definitely starting him in basically any matchup. Jalen Hurts is the next quarterback in my rankings at 3. He's playing the Buccaneers in Tampa. So kind of what we saw last week with Jalen Hurts was he was playing against the Rams. I think the Rams have a good defense. They can slow down the run game of Saquon and make Jalen Hurts throw the ball. And I feel similarly about the Bucs. And Baker Mayfield can keep up. I think Baker Mayfield can score on a lot of offenses. The Eagles on a lot of defenses. The Eagles have a great defense. Let's check the over/under for this game. It's 43. That's pretty solid. Vegas is expecting some points. It's not just a defensive shutout. Jalen Hurts will have to throw, I think, in this game. So I've got him at 3. They can't just do everything with Saquon in every game. And I think the Bucs can get them out of that safety blanket. Next quarterback up for me is Caleb Williams at 4. I just really like the matchup against the Raiders. I don't want to overreact to one single game against the Cowboys, but it looks like this Bears offense is starting to get in sync. The timing is getting better. The penalties are coming down. The trick plays are coming out. And Caleb Williams is able to spread the ball around. They started working in their rookies, Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. Luther Burden getting the flea flicker touchdown, a play that they were drawn up in practice specifically for him. Colston Loveland was getting targets early before coming out of that game. I don't know that the Raiders defense can stop the Bears. I don't know that they have enough to stop all of the options that the Bears have in the passing game. So I'm ready to go back to Caleb until I see that he's not excellent. Justin Herbert playing the Giants. I like the Giants defense a little bit more than the Raiders. So which is why I would have Justin Herbert one spot behind Caleb Johnson. The Chargers have shown us they'll throw. The Greg Roman run first offense. It's not what we're seeing this year. Now, I don't know if that's because they aren't ready to go to Amari and Hampton fully. That could be it. We might see that change in the coming weeks as Hampton gets up to speed with the NFL. They bring in a backup running back to kind of share that load with him. And then they're able to run the ball a little bit more without worrying about him wearing down. But right now, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, that is enough. Like Justin Herbert can spread the ball around. Justin Herbert is an MVP tier quarterback. If you don't think Justin Herbert is a top quarterback in the league, I don't know. And I don't think the Giants can slow down this passing attack. So I'm going with Justin Herbert at 5. At quarterback 6, I have Jaden Daniels playing the Falcons. If Jaden Daniels is healthy, I can't really get away from him. There's a couple guys I like more than him, but a lot of the time he's going to be a top option for me. The Falcons just lost 30-0. Some of that was missed field goals. Like their offense could have scored some points and just missed the kicks. Man, this defense and the Falcons in general looked a little shaky. I think they bounced back a bit for this week, but the Commies offense, like Cliff Kingsbury, they're scoring on a lot of teams. They put up 40 points on the Raiders last week. I don't know that the Falcons can really rein them in. If Jaden Daniels is going, I'm starting him. That is even without a Terry McLaurin. I think there's enough pieces to get things moving. Quarterback 7, Jordan Love playing against the Cowboys. Now, Jordan Love was not a good fantasy quarterback in week 3, but I think a lot of that was the Browns. The Browns held the Ravens down for a little bit. They kept the Packers to 10, ultimately winning that game. I think this week we see a little bit of medicine, getting to play the Cowboys. I haven't seen the Cowboys slow anyone down. This Matt Eberflus defense is kind of just open for business. You can throw it on them. Maybe Dak will be able to keep up. The only thing that I might say about this game is, like, if Dak can't score on the Packers, is this a 24-17 win, a 24-14 win with a lot of Josh Jacobs running on the Cowboys? Maybe, but I'm not going to overly predict that. I think Jordan Love isn't going to have a lot of problems moving the ball this week. At quarterback 8, I have Baker Mayfield playing the Eagles. Normally, I would have Baker Mayfield up higher, but I don't like the matchup. Eagles is a tough defense. I think Baker can pass on anyone, but not as freely as he might want to. Mike Evans is not expected to play in this game. Maybe Chris Godwin comes back, but any combination of Chris Godwin, Ibuka, Sterling Shepard, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, maybe they go to Cade Otton a little bit more in this game. I think they can keep going. I'm going to keep going with Baker Mayfield until I see a team that fully shuts him down. He's just consistently been good over the past couple of years. You know, later career Baker Mayfield is not the same Baker Mayfield as early career Baker. So I have him at 8. Justin Fields at 9 playing the Dolphins. If Fields is healthy to go, I will take any quarterback playing the Dolphins. The rushing floor of Fields is great. Garrett Wilson's healthy. Breece Hall's healthy. And it's the Dolphins, guys. This game is in Miami, and that's a tough place to play in September, but it's on Monday night. So it won't have as much of a sun home field advantage beating down on the visitors' sidelines. Quarterback 10, I have Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I had pretty far down last week playing the Chargers. This week, playing the Bengals, Sunday Night Football. It's on Monday Night Football in Denver. So at home, playing a bad defense, a reeling team. I don't know when the Bengals are going to kind of right the ship and get things back on track coming off of a 10-point to 48-point loss. But I think the Broncos will be able to score kind of at will on the Bengals. Give me Bo Nix here. Number 11, Patrick Mahomes. Deep back compared to what I might normally have for Mahomes. He's playing the Ravens defense. This is a good defense. It's going to be hard for me to have Patrick Mahomes back in the top 8, top 6 until he gets at least one receiver back. Xavier Worthy is out. Rashee Rice is out. Travis Kelce is okay, but he's not old Travis Kelce. Juju Smith-Schuster is not good enough. Hollywood Brown, it's not good enough for a top fantasy quarterback. The run game is not good enough. This offense just cannot score at will like they used to be able to. So maybe when we see Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy out there, things start to open up. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is going to be in this like 10, 11, 12, 13 range, depending on the matchup. And the Ravens are a tough matchup. On Thursday night, Kyler Murray takes on the Seahawks at home, so not in Seattle. Divisional game on a Thursday night. I'm expecting this Cardinals offense to take a small step back. The Cardinals told us with their game plans and how they were running their games that they liked James Conner more than Trey Benson. I like Trey Benson for fantasy, but I'm going to listen to the team when they say, hey, they thought James Conner was better. I've seen enough of Amari DiMercado to know that he's not that good. So this offense has just gotten worse since last week. Maybe that means they'll try to air it out a little bit more than their normal run-heavy game plan. You know, Drew Petzing is a good run game designer. Maybe they'll throw it more. I'm not totally sure. I like Seattle's defense, so I've got Kyler at 12. At 13, I've got Jared Goff playing the Browns. I'm going to be afraid of any quarterback playing the Browns, basically except Jared Goff and the Lions. I thought they would have trouble scoring this year. They've kind of just been able to score on anyone, with the exception of the Packers in week 1. So I've got Jared Goff at 13, kind of outside of the top 12 starters. I've seen him in a really tough matchup. They will often run in the red zone. It wouldn't surprise me if Jared Goff was one touchdown, but they still scored 25, 27 points in this game. At 14, I've got Drake May playing the Panthers. Panthers held the Falcons to 0 points last week. Some of that was missed kicks. I think the Patriots can get things going, and Drake May's rushing floor just makes him really hard to get away from. I've got plenty of guys that I like ahead of him, but I've got Drake May at 14. 15, Brock Purdy playing the Jags. If Purdy's back, this matchup is easy enough. Even if it's just Purdy, Pearsall, CMC, and maybe some Jawan Jennings, I'm fine with Purdy here. And then Dak Prescott at 16, way down than I normally would have him. But it's the Packers defense. This is a very, very good defense. They shut down the Lions quite a bit. No CeeDee Lamb for Dak. It's a really tough matchup. I'm getting away from him if I can. 17, Daniel Jones playing the Rams. I like Daniel Jones. I believed in Daniel Jones. The Rams are a really hard matchup, so I'm going to get away from Daniel Jones if I can. The Rams defense can be one that makes Daniel Jones go back to his old Daniel Jones mistakes. So if I can get away from him, I am. 18, Geno Smith playing the Bears. The Bears defense, a little banged up. Jalen Johnson, their top corner, still going to be missing time. Geno Smith can end up having a great game here. I just don't want to trust him. I've seen him have some pretty rough games this year. And then at 19, I've got Stroud playing the Titans. I just don't know that Stroud is an excellent fantasy quarterback. And at 20, I've got Trevor Lawrence playing the 49ers. No Joey Bosa, so the matchup gets a little bit easier, but it's still Trevor Lawrence. So I'll keep him at 20. And that'll wrap things up. We will be releasing full ranks this week with quarterbacks, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. So stay tuned for those. They will be in a playlist here, or one will be linked on your screen. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much.